Hello fellow athletes, my name is Agaman and welcome to my channel. I wish to share my experience with sports. Of course this is off my memory and what I say and express may not fully match the truth, in which I'll try my best to convey. As a child I was fairly active. Of course all I wanted to do was play outside or inside with video games. And like many, I was introduced to sport via school. I mainly grew up in the UK, so the main sport I participated in was a typical UK bundle, which consisted of hockey, rugby, football, and some form of sport which required you to hit a ball that was thrown at you with a bat. In primary school, I was a little shit. The small, scrawny nobody. I wasn't even that fast compared to the others. One thing I did have was that I could climb trees on top of climbing frames and low roofs. I could climb pretty confidently anywhere. So yeah, I was terrible in every sport out there. I could kick and throw just fine, just didn't have the power to do it well, and my hand-eye coordination really was weak, which didn't really improve. Anyways, from what I remember, I mainly just did sports in my lunch breaks for fun, usually alone with nobody, or during PE. I wasn't the type of kid to just sit out and not want anything to do with sports. I would jump into any opportunity or challenges that was in front of me. Definitely wasn't good, but I would try. A little side note, I would motivate myself thinking I was the chosen one and be popular. At last, that never really came to fruition. So, during PE, I was I think year 4. We were playing rounders and my hand-eye coordination was so bad I wouldn't be able to hit the ball, or at the very least I would hit it in an awkward place and make the ball either go backwards, straight up, or straight into the ground. But this one time I managed to get a good hit, but I didn't have the power behind it and it just got caught. But I remember I was very happy. Instead of mopping away, I silently clenched my fist and said, yes. Now, a little embarrassing story. When I was in year 6, so about 10 to age 11, during one fateful lunch break I wanted to play football and was serious about actually doing good. Now, prior to this decision I didn't really play football a whole lot. I stuck to playing with the stuff in the shed, if you know what I'm talking about, or once again the climbing frame. Oh, how much I didn't see that coming. I was just enjoying the game kind of, didn't really get to touch the ball much, but I thought it was going pretty smoothly. Maybe I'll get a chance to show off, and I got smashed in the face with a ball. I think I nearly dropped to the ground from that, or I did fall, can't really recall, because not even a second later, a second shot to the face. Now, that time I was definitely down and crying. Don't really remember if I was bleeding, but I do remember crying really hard. My classroom teacher was the one that had to pick me up and send me to the nurse. That I do remember, and the embarrassment too. I felt everyone's gaze as I was getting carried through the playground and past some classrooms. I was still very small at the start of secondary school, but as soon as I went to year 9, or near the end of it, puberty started making changes. I had a huge boost in testosterone running rampant around my body. I also started going to the gym. This was probably also my way of controlling these changes in my body. All in all, I started getting bigger and stronger fairly quickly. In year 10, I participated in all the main male sports that my school presented. That was hockey, rugby, and cricket. These sports all had an A team and B team, alpha, beta. And this year was the year where I became A team for all said sports, sort of. Yeah, I wasn't really that involved, mostly a sub in rugby, and I was briefly in A team for hockey, and cricket I was really only a fielder and a last batter. Puberty didn't really help much. I even believe it made it worse as I stopped getting motivated in everything I do. Moving on, there was this glorious moment, B team at home match, where I ran through a whole team in rugby. I think I was at the end of year 9, I was working out and my hormones boosted my muscles, but I was still fairly short, so I felt like a bullet running through this team, felt unstoppable. I don't think I did anything fancy too, just steamrolled through, and what I do next is just the biggest of big brain moves. Once I passed everyone, I just simply passed the ball, I think the left flank. We scored, but I wasn't the one who did it, all because someone said pass and I did what I was told. In hockey, I also had a bit of a glorious moment. Similar to what happened in rugby, I ran through a whole team. This time it was during something called an inter-house. Depending on who you ask, it is less important than a game with another school. Quick summary: during secondary school, I was a boarder and we lived in houses that had names. Each house had their own identities to blah blah blah, not the point. Inter-house was an event that happened every term, and it was competition between the house on certain fields: singing, rugby, hockey, cricket, and athletic/sports day. Like in sports day, instead of classes competing one another, it was which house you live in. So in this game, we were once again closer to our goal, so I had quite the distance to run, and I'm pretty sure I was breaking the rules in this one. Basically, I kept the ball in the air pretty much the whole time, like a tennis ball on a tennis rack. At the end, I think I either went for the shots and missed, or lost control and it went out of boundary, but I did manage to gain a lot of ground for our team. Not bad, not bad. I was absolutely trash in this sport and I had no interest in becoming good, so this just dissolved out of my life. Cricket was probably the sport in which I enjoyed the most. It was during summer and it was, for the most part, super chill sport. This was probably mainly because I didn't do a whole lot. However, I had a near really painful experience. If you don't know this, then I'll tell you now. Cricket balls are super hard. Someone throws that at you, it will hurt a lot if not caught properly. So obviously you'll need to train yourself to be able to catch it well. Luckily my hand was rough and soft. Wait, what? Luckily my hand was pretty rough because of gym training as well, and I've practiced my technique of catching the ball well enough. So on to the story. This was my first A team match. This was a away match and I was just chilling. I was given a position where the ball didn't come all that often. Suddenly out of nowhere, a ball came right at me. It bounced and went straight to my face. Let's rewind a bit. So here I was, chilling and daydreaming. By all means, not a good idea, but I had nothing to do and was kind of bored. So the narcissistic idiot I was daydreaming about my amazing moment in this cricket game, I got caught off guard with my hands in my pocket. I didn't know the ball was coming my way until I heard someone shout my name, and I came back to earth. But I didn't realize the ball was there until it bounced, and I wasn't ready at all. Hands were still in my pocket and bang, within a split second, I caught it inches away from my face. After that, I simply just passed it to the person at the stump. Not sure if the batter got out, but boy, my heart was racing. During A-level college, I pretty much just stopped all the team-based sports. I went on and did cross-country. This was the toughest sport I've ever done mentally and physically. I was always really pushing myself to complete the race or run. At the beginning of my career, I showed some potential, I think. When I ran, I would do these two things. I would either just lose myself in my mind and I could run till the end of the earth, or I would get too confident and out of nowhere I would just feel like collapsing. Being too hot or too cold also pushed me to feel like collapsing quicker. So losing myself in my thoughts and becoming a zombie was the only way I could finish a race. This helped remove the thought of stopping and giving up, or essentially walking. Now, swimming is something that I probably suck at most right now. I've always had trouble keeping my eyes open when I swam, and my sense of direction, especially without my eyes, was all over the place. To top it off, I get tired really quickly when swimming. In races, it combines all my faults in swimming. I try to go fast, but this only makes me lose control and get tired, unlike the first lap. After that, it's just me trying to stay above water so I don't drown.